Today I'm going to be watching this video. It's called Winter in Canada, the good, the bad and the cold. Now of course I know about the cold weather in Canada and it's almost approaching winter, so I guess the weather will be turning into the cold. I want to learn more about it. I'm from the UK. We say we've got like cold winters, but they're definitely nothing compared to Canada. I mean, what's the coldest weather you've ever experienced in Canada? Tell me about that. What's it actually like? And yeah, I'm really interested to know how you handle the cold weather in a Canadian winter. But let's watch this one, check out this, see how they handle the Canadian winter.
Video we want to show you how life is in winter here in Canada. So cold.
I mean, that is one thing I don't miss. Like, I live in Malaysia now where it's 32 degrees Celsius every day of the year. No seasons, it's just the same every day. Sometimes more humid than others, but it's generally just warm all the time. I don't miss waking up early in the morning when it's cold in the winter, scraping my car, sitting in there freezing until it gets warm. I was a bit scarred by that experience growing up, man, but so I'm really happy to live in a country where I don't need to experience that. But how do you feel about that? Do you enjoy waking up in the morning, seeing the snow, or are you like me, just could do without it?
One of the things people ask us about all the time is how we survive the winters in Canada. It can get really cold up here depending on where you are. Where I grew up, we got as low as -50. I've heard of temperatures reaching -70 in the Arctic, and on average we probably get -25, which is pretty cold. So people from warmer climates especially always ask us how we even survive. One of them is Carla's dad. He doesn't get how it works. How do the pipes not freeze? How do you stay warm at night? And how do you get to work?
And how we don't freeze just stepping out the door.
That's actually one thing I'm concerned about, because actually me, my wife and my kids are going to be going to South Korea just before New Year's for 2 weeks, and the weather is like already hitting like -7 degrees Celsius, things like that. So before we actually booked it, we're like happy with everything, but like we're thinking, can we really handle that weather for 2 weeks, especially with 2 young children? Give me some advice. What's your advice to handle that cold weather during that time? Maybe I'll make some videos there so you can see what the weather's like there also. I mean, you can have a lot of fun in that weather too. It's pretty nice, pretty beautiful. What even is that? Is that just from a waterfall, is it? Something like that? Frozen waterfall, maybe? Do you think that's when Canada looks at its most beautiful? Is it with all the snow and during those winter months? When you see things like images like this, yeah, it's really beautiful and breathtaking, especially with the snow.
Every house in Canada has a heater. That's how we make it through the winter time. This is the thermostat, how we control the heat. So even though outside right now is -20, inside is +23. And the heat comes up through all these vents that are all over the house, and without them, I don't think we'd make it.
Yeah, I guess that in itself is interesting, especially when I compare to the UK. Here in Malaysia, we don't have heating in the house, of course, we just have aircon and fans. No need for it. But in the UK, we use like radiators. It's like those metal box things that are attached to the wall. In each room, you just turn that on like a central boiler, and it turns all the radiators on in the house. You can't really control each one individually. You can to an extent, but you can't really just switch one off. They all go on or they all go off. This is a very different system coming through the ground, those sort of vents. Is this the same in every Canadian house, or do you have those radiators as well? Already, as I said, I'm going to Korea. I believe from my research they have like pipes that go under the floor. So they're hot water pipes, so they just heat and the whole floor just stays heated. So I don't know which system is most efficient or better. You can tell me what your opinion of that would be.
Thanks to the heat, you can pretty much wear anything inside your house. You can even be naked and you're gonna be nice and cozy. But when you go outside, you need to be prepared. So first thing, you need to have a nice jacket that keeps you warm. So most of the jackets are made with down because it's just a good insulator. Then you need a scarf that's also like to keep your neck warm, and also the cold doesn't go in. And when it's very cold, you can cover your nose and mouth from the cold and wind. A toque and gloves. So one of the very first parts that get cold for you is your ears and your fingers. So it's nice to have them covered, and also your toes. So if you can have winter shoes, that's the best because they're waterproof. So when there's snow outside, then they don't get wet, and then your feet get wet and cold. So that's nice. And for those days that it's very, very, very cold, then you just pretty much dress in layers. And some of those layers are like a special, like underwear, that they have a special technology to keep you warm.
I've never seen them before.
So now that we're ready, we can take Maya for a walk. Maya is a rescue dog from Cuba, and even our doggies need a coat to keep themselves warm. Isn't it, Maya?
I mean, like, when you see it like that, it looks like, actually it looks quite nice, the colour of the sky and stuff, but I guess through the video you just can't really understand how cold it probably feels.
Oh, it's cold, look.
In Canada, we have to be prepared for the winter. So of course, when it snows a lot, you wouldn't be able to get out of your house. You wouldn't be able to drive your car. So the city actually has special trucks that come and clear the snow. And then we're responsible for our own house. So this is called a shovel. Basically, you just scoop up the snow like that, throw it to the side. That's how you get out of your house. And then we're also responsible for the sidewalk in front of the house so no one else slips. Then we have an ice pick. So sometimes it's actually ice underneath the snow. And then you have to basically scrape it up like that. Sometimes you have a broom if you want to really be clean about it. And then when it's too much ice, we have kind of, usually it's like salt or other kinds of different chemicals. Sometimes there's even lava rocks now. And you put those down and that helps to melt the snow so you don't slip and fall. So this is kind of like daily life in the winter time, especially when you own a house.
Yeah, with regards to like the salt, what we have in Scotland, I don't know, probably have something similar in Canada, but it's like in neighbourhoods like this, there'll be like a big yellow box and it's filled with this salt, or like it's like a sort of reddish colour. Call it grit in the UK, but it's kind of just like another name for salt, I think. And then usually, like, you'll go and collect a box of it, take it back, and then just like spread it all over your house and stuff, like all over your ground outside your house. Do they have any sort of community offerings like that in Canada? And when you say they're like the big vehicles coming, do you have, is it snow plows? In the UK we don't really have snow plows, but we have like, again, big grit machines, big salt machines, like vehicles, and they just spread out the salt behind it on the way just down roads. So they'll usually go out early in the morning and on the highways and things like that as well.
And then you'll see here we have a plug-in. So something we do here is we actually plug in the cars. This is just an extension cord. Basically, there's a plug-in. I won't be able to find it because it's under the trunk, but you plug in the car and basically it keeps the engine warm. Otherwise, sometimes when it gets minus 30, minus 40, your car doesn't start.
I've never
And then
seen
you're
that
stuck. So that helps make that happen. And then of course, as you can imagine, sometimes you wake up to go to work in the morning and your car is covered in snow. So we just got a fresh snowfall, and this is what the vehicle looks like in the morning.
Oh, no, that is deep. So thick.
So it's not actually that cold today. It's probably minus 5 maybe or something. But this is what we got to do in the mornings before going to work.
Or every time it snows.
It's actually a lot of snow. Look at that.
Is it heavy?
One night.
No, it's like a light snow, I think.
So show them the item that you like remove the snow with.
This thing?
Yeah.
I think it's called.
But that one actually looks quite easy, like it just brushes off. The one I've experienced in the UK, and I guess it depends on the temperature and type of snow, but it's like when it's pretty much stuck to the windscreen, you really need to scrape it off, or you get like de-icer and spray it all over the window. It's like all the layer of ice that's left.
Called a snow brush,
I kind of forgot about all these things, man.
but it basically has one side. This is the brush for taking off the snow, like I've been doing, and this one
Scrape
is
it.
if there's ice on the windshield. So on a colder day, you might get some ice, so then you gotta shave the ice off, or else you can't see out the windshield.
Yeah, that one's like the pain, man, when you're standing there early in the morning in the cold trying to scrape. I remember sometimes just questioning life, like, what am I doing, man?
Not
Just
only
want to go back to your
brings
nice warm bed.
low temperatures, but also a lot of fun activities.
Yeah, tell me what activities you like to do when it snows. Is there anything you only do when it snows that you kind of look forward to doing each year? Oh,
One of the things that I love about the winter is the snow.
that looks like excellent snow, man. So light and fluffy.
We hope you enjoyed this video and that we answered your question about what Canada's like in the winter time. If you have any other questions about Canada, please leave them in the comments below and we'll try to answer them. And if you like this video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, go subscribe to their channel. They always make good content about Canada. And yeah, well, I kind of like want to experience Canadian winter, but like part of me is like scared, man. I'll be like, I'll probably freeze to death. But again, like if you wrap up, get all the clothes on, all the like the gloves, the hat, the toque, sorry, the scarf, I guess it'll be fine. So yeah, tell me what the coldest weather is. How's the weather right now in Canada where you are? Is it getting to anywhere close to this? And yeah, tell me what you think about this video. Thanks.